What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. If you're new to the channel, I am your host, as always, Rashid White. This video is actually being recorded on Thanksgiving, so if you're actually late, you're seeing this video the following day. Happy belated Thanksgiving, and if you're watching this video today, happy Thanksgiving to you. Let's get into this. You see the title, you see the thumbnail over there. Dreamers Pro actually agrees with the fake LeBron James Michael GOAT comparisons after recent longevity stat, and I don't know what this is all about, man. They all, Dreamers Pro is always trying to hate on LeBron for some weird reason. He thinks MJ is the GOAT and Kobe's number 2, and he thinks that he doesn't give any respect to like today's players. He thinks the 80s players are actually better than the 90s players. Well, I'm sorry, today's players, not 90s, but today's players, 80s and 90s players are better than today's players, which is a categorical lie right there. But let's pull up Dreamers Pro over here. Let's hear what he actually has to say, and let's hear what Chris Broussard and Rob Parker has to say.
So what we want to do is want to play the exchange between Chris Broussard and Rob Parker, and then we'll come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to that there.
If I could pick one player's career, Rob, that I could have. I'm just talking straight basketball. I'm not talking off the court. I'm not talking personality, any of that. I would take Michael Jordan's. Now, LeBron's has been great.
All right, so yeah, Chris Broussard is basically saying he wants things easy in life. He doesn't actually want to build. Michael Jordan was handed a lot of different things, man. He was in a great organization. He had great general managers. He had a great coach. The NBA changed the rules for him. Like Chris Broussard, he couldn't go and let's say he had the option to actually build a YouTube channel talking sports or work for Fox Sports. Fox Sports already has everything laid out for you and everything, man. They got guys that actually does your video editing, thumbnails, topics. Me myself, I do all this. I do everything over here. I even compose all the background music when I actually put it on the show. Chris Broussard doesn't want that. He wants the easy way out. Michael Jordan actually had it easy. You're going like the players that he actually had to go against compared to what LeBron had to go against. Easier for MJ, much harder for LeBron James.
Both think he's the second best player ever. But I would take Jordan's because the dominance was ridiculous.
I'm with you. That's why the Dan Patrick, I'm thinking Dan Miller in Detroit, the Lions radio guy. Dan Patrick's take here is, I don't know, but he goes out of his way to say he'll take Michael. Why not just say, I would take LeBron's career?
Right,
if you
right.
Now
because
he
kind of said,
something.
Rob, right? We kind of said, if if I'm on a franchise and I can get LeBron for 21 years, which LeBron's played for 4 different franchises or iterations, right? Cleveland twice. But I could get LeBron for 21 years, or I could get Jordan for 13 or 15 or 11, however you want to count it. He's saying he would take LeBron. So if that's what you want to do, then just say it.
Just say that. But he didn't say that, and that's the problem I have with the tape. Is that it was both sides. You got to get on either side of the fence.
And Rob, we've said this before about those that say Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever, but LeBron James has had the best career.
Right.
What?
That doesn't make any sense.
Then LeBron's better. Just say that.
Right, just say that.
Or Jordan had a better career.
But they can't say it, though. They can't say it. That's why they always have to hedge it with LeBron. They have to hedge it because if it's to win a game or win a championship, who would I pick? It's not hands down Michael Jordan. Well, isn't that what you're playing for?
Michael Jordan had a super team, all right? He didn't win the championships all by himself.
Win a championship? Come on. And then Michael never got beat, never went to a game 7, revolution, changed the NBA. Look at his sneakers. They buy more of his sneakers. This guy's been played in 20 years, 15 years, Chris.
Oh, they're more popular now.
Right.
Probably, than ever.
I got 40 pair. They're more popular, like crazy. But you get my point. Like, really? Longevity is better than a guy who totally dominates and wins 10 scoring championships in 13 years, Chris. 10 in a row.
Yeah, and we keep saying 13 years because Jordan only played 13 full seasons in the league.
Right.
The second year of his career, he got injured and only played like 17 games. And then of course, he came back from baseball one season and played the last 18 games or something. And so that's why we're saying 13. He only had 11 years with the Chicago Bulls, and he won 6 championships in those 11 years. Now, this is to take nothing away from LeBron. Rob, I think you're throwing you want to look at some comparisons. I think LeBron, obviously, you could compare him to Hank Aaron, right? Now Hank Aaron, it's him breaking Babe Ruth's home run record was obviously bigger than LeBron James scoring 39,000 points. But I'm talking about in terms of the feat. You know, Hank Aaron, Rob, never hit 50 home runs in a season.
Yeah, one time.
You know?
I thought it was one. No,
his most ever was 47.
47, I'm sorry, yeah.
And he only led the league in home runs 4 times. Right. So it speaks to his tremendous longevity.
And you're right. That is a good way of looking at LeBron and Hank Aaron, because Hank did all these things, and Chris, like, his numbers.
So you heard what Chris Broussard and Rob Parker had to say. Listen, let me tell you what I believe is causing the friction. The thing that I believe is causing this friction is that some of these LeBron supporters just can't let it be. LeBron is a great player. One of the top 5 players of all time in my personal view. Some people get on me, how dare you have him so high? Some people do, how dare you have him so low? 5, you should be 1, 2, whatever. But he's one of the greatest players of all time. I think where we begin to have this friction is when LeBron himself, by going out and saying this may be the greatest player of all time, when Rich Paul and Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp and all of these people continue to use these various milestones to now say, okay, well, this is why he's better than Michael Jordan, or Michael Jordan could never do this, or Michael Jordan could never. Then you begin to get this pushback. And that's essentially what was happening in this soundbite, because they were reacting to some comments that Dan Patrick said, where he was like, you know, who had the better career. And I was like, if you think LeBron had the better career, then say he's better than Michael Jordan. But they want to say that. But you say he had the better career. So this is where you have this pushback. To me, I personally don't see it.
Yeah, because, I mean, everybody wants to judge the rings, and it's not the rings, okay? It's, I mean, if you want to go by just rings, Bill Russell, what, does he have 11 rings? I mean, he's the GOAT. Robert Horry, I think he has about 5 rings or 7 championship rings. Dennis Rodman has 5 rings. Then he's the GOAT. You can't go by actual rings, and you got to go by the career. And yes, longevity is a thing over here, man.
It is a debate. Some people believe it is. I don't believe it is. I don't even think it's close. That is something that really bothers some people. I personally don't care. I don't think it's close. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't got nothing for you. I don't think it's close. I think MJ clears LeBron and everyone else pretty easily. Some people disagree. Some people say it's Will. Some people say it's Kareem. I think it's Michael Jordan. This is just my view. And I don't think this stat means that he's greater than Michael Jordan, because he did something that Jordan didn't do, but I can bring up like 10 things that Michael Jordan did that LeBron never did. So what do we do?
Yeah, this man is such emotional rage. And Dreamers Pro, I don't know if you guys said at the end of the last video that I actually did about you. I'm telling you, bro, for real, go to the doctor. I don't know if they have any kind of, like, you know, real kind of doctors out there in Nigeria who could do a hormone test. But I guarantee you, man, you're highly estrogenic, man. You have a lot of estrogen running through those veins, man. You really do, bro. You're so, I mean, you know, you can give facts can slap you in the face. And yet you're so high on emotional rage, man. I wanna smoke whatever you smoking, man. It must be some powerful stuff, man. It must really be some powerful shit. You so high on emotional rage, man. Gilbert Arenas checks you. I've been saying the same thing as Gilbert Arenas on this channel for the last 2 years. All right, Jordan didn't have any kind of competition. All right, you look at the Utah Jazz series. Who on that team was a high percentage one-on-one player? Okay, I did this video about 1.5 years ago. All right, they had nobody. Karl Malone had to be set up by John Stockton. John Stockton wasn't the type of guy that was going to get to the rim in 3-4 dribbles and dunk on you and put pressure on the defense. Jeff Hornacek was a shooter, and it wasn't really a great three-point shooting team. Now, I keep saying this because, you know, why? I played basketball for over 25 years now. Still play to this day. Guarding the three-point line is extremely difficult. It's really, really taxing on your lower extremities, and especially when you have guys actually setting screens. All right? So, Michael Jordan didn't have to go through any of that stuff, man. I mean, like I said, 2 of the championships were like nobody, like you didn't have like a Gilbert Arenas on that team, or let's say like a Kobe Bryant. I'm just trying to think like you know, you get what I'm saying. A high percentage one-on-one player. I'm talking about like a Giannis. Talking about like a Kevin Durant. I mean, he didn't have to face any of this stuff. And they also said that I think MJ said this himself, that Gary Payton used to give him fits. Somebody that was 6'3", 190 pounds, gave him fits. Not that he could lock MJ up, but, you know, he can definitely affect MJ's efficiency somewhat. So instead of instead of, let's say Jordan wants to go out there and score 20-something points. That's his goal, is to score 20 points. You want to try to do it in 13 to 15 field goal attempts. Well, if Gary Payton was guarding him, he has to do it in 25 field goal attempts. All right? So not that he's locking him down, but he's going to make you work, and you're going to actually have to work a little bit harder, take more shots. And like, you think Gary Payton is guarding LeBron James? Come on, man. Come on, man. We gotta stop this nonsense over here, man. Chris Broussard is actually being disingenuous. That's why I actually really kind of started this thing over here, man. I've been studying the game of basketball myself for like 25 years. I wanted to get into coaching, so I studied the game in terms of actually being a coach, and I'm like, you know, things don't work out as you want, but the knowledge is actually still there, though. The knowledge is actually really still there. Oh, the camera actually went out over here, man, so, you know, I'm kind of doing this in like a voiceover type of thing here. Listen, stop listening to Dreamers Pro. Any of you fans, your remaining fans out there, I see his views are actually going down. You know what? I'm a unsubscribe from him. All right, unsubscribe. I just actually subscribed to him because he was talking a lot of nonsense about Ben Simmons, and you know, and also about today's current NBA players actually saying like, oh, they don't play no defense. He tries to say like, oh, Ben Simmons doesn't bring any kind of value whatsoever, when he does. I'm not saying he's the end all be all, but he does bring a little bit of value to any kind of team in the NBA. So that's how I actually got really kind of started on this guy over here, man. So and now I see people parroting what he's actually saying, like using a lot of his talking points. I'm like, where's all this nonsense coming from? I mean, he doesn't know what a point guard does. The man never dribbled the basketball a day in his life. He admitted that, self-admitted. Never dribbled a basketball in a day of his life, man. Never even once touched the basketball. You know, so how can you talk about something that you actually really, truly never did? And, you know, I'm glad Gilbert Arenas exposed you. I mean, he did better than what I can, because I've been trying for 2 years. I mean, I got through to some people, but Gilbert, I mean, you see like I said, you look at these views. He's getting like 30, 40, 50,000 views a video. Now he's going to 4 days now. 4 days. So, yeah, here we go, right? If Hakeem Olajuwon had all that help, we'll talk about him being the greatest. And again, he thinks that MJ and Kobe just won those championships all by themselves. All right, they had no kind of help. And you look at the two that were, Paul Gasol was there, Andrew Bynum. That team was loaded with talent, loaded. Ron Artest, I mean, who was like, I mean, it's. You know, winning championships is a team effort, man. It's not one individual player that actually can do it, okay? All right, so definitely like, comment, subscribe. Certainly share this video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. Peace.